My adoptive mother Victoria Kingston suffered a sudden heart attack and was rushed to the ICU. She didn't make it, leaving me an inheritance of $60 million. I was stunned. Our family was wealthy, but I never knew we were that wealthy. With the money in my hands, my first call was to my Uncle James to let him know the loan sharks hounding him could be paid off. I'd used my name to secure a loan for him. After all, Mom loved him the most when she was alive. She once said she'd never rest in peace if James wasn't taken care of. Now it was my job to give her that peace. That morning I headed to the bank with all the paperwork proving I was the sole heir. In no time, $60 million was transferred to my name. Out of curiosity, I asked about moving funds to another bank. The branch manager's face went pale, and before I knew it, he was shoving 4 gas station gift cards, 2 grocery store vouchers, 3 gallons of cooking oil, and a fleece blanket into my hands. I walked into the bank empty-handed and left looking like I'd raided a clearance sale. Back at my hotel, I enjoyed a hearty lunch, checked the time, and decided it was the perfect day to uncover the truth about my origins. I'd known since high school that Victoria wasn't my biological mother. A routine blood test revealed I had type O blood while hers was AB. It explained why she'd always treated me so coldly growing up. At first I thought it was just her personality. But then I saw her working as a housekeeper for the Marshalls, doting on their daughter Emily with a warmth I'd never seen. It hit me: Victoria could smile, just not at me. There's no love or hate without reason, especially for someone as self-serving as Victoria. If Emily was her real daughter, then who was I? I took a cab to the Marshalls mansion and caught Mrs. Catherine Marshall's car pulling out. I stepped in front of it and asked, "Hi, are you Catherine Marshall? Would you be open to a DNA test with me?" The car window rolled down, and in that moment I knew I'd hit the jackpot. Her face was like looking in a mirror. Everything went smoothly from there. Back at the hotel, my phone rang. Emily Marshall, already on high alert. "Grace, what were you doing at my house? What did you say to my mom?" Her guilty tone was like a thief caught red-handed, but I played it cool. "Nothing much. It's the holidays, right? My mom worked for your family for years. I just stopped by to say Happy New Year on her behalf." "Is that a problem?" Emily's voice dripped with warning. If she weren't traveling abroad, she'd probably have shown up to confront me. Emily and I went to the same college. Back then she was arrogant, throwing her family's wealth around like it made her untouchable. Getting her friends to rough me up wasn't beneath her. "Where's Victoria?" she snapped. "Put her on the phone. I need to talk to her." I smirked. "She's tied up right now, can't come to the phone." "Tied up? Doing what?" "Get her on the line." Her voice spiked impatience clear. "Grace, I'm warning you, don't stir up trouble. What's your game showing up at my house? If you don't spill, I'll call Victoria myself." Her panic was almost comical, practically screaming that Victoria was her real mother. "Just a friendly visit, Emily. Why so defensive?" "You're scaring me," I said, playing innocent. "If you don't believe me, what can I do?" She grit her teeth. "Don't think I can't touch you. I'll call Victoria right now and have her deal with you." "Go for it," I said, lightly smiling. "If you can get her on the phone." My eyes landed on Victoria's urn. I snapped a photo from a nice angle and sent it to Emily's phone. As expected, a long screeching voice message came back. She didn't believe Victoria was gone. She thought I was cursing her. "Grace, you're vile. That's your mom and you're saying she's dead? It's New Year's and you're faking her memorial photo? Are you even human?" Her voice was like nails on a chalkboard, every word trying to pierce through me. I waited for my ears to stop ringing before replying calmly, "She's my mom, not yours. You're awfully worked up. People might get the wrong idea. It's not Photoshop. I'm not that good at editing." "Don't believe me? Want me to open the urn for you?" "Don't worry, it's not cocoa powder inside. Or I could send you the death certificate." "Sending that during New Year's feels a bit tacky though, don't you think?" Oh, and you said you'd call her. Did you get through? I sent the messages one by one. This time Emily went silent. She was probably blowing up Victoria's phone. Emily finally backed off. I didn't care to dwell on it and spent my free time researching the city's redevelopment policies. The two old family houses were slated for demolition as part of a relocation project. The compensation was decent, but Victoria had always refused it, moving her stuff out but insisting I stay to block the demolition crew. Now that she was gone, I saw no reason to fight the city. The next day I went to the redevelopment office to sign the paperwork. As I approached the stairs, I heard a commotion in the hallway. That's my house. What gives you the right to tear it down? The compensation's a joke. I won't agree to it. I'd rather die in that house than let you touch it. The voice was familiar. I paused, then took a different staircase to the office. With all my documents in order, I signed and received a compensation check in no time. The staff shook my hand, thanking me profusely. Thank you for supporting our work. If everyone were as cooperative as you, our jobs would be so much easier. I smiled, shaking their hands back. Thanks for the compensation and the double relocation bonus. As I left the building, I sighed. Good deeds always pay off. I took the check back to the same bank. The manager's face blanched when he saw me, but when he spotted the check, his cheeks flushed and he ushered me into his office. I officially became a VIP client and left once again loaded with gift cards and groceries, like I'd hit the jackpot. Back at the hotel, I slept like a rock. The next morning, my phone's relentless ringing woke me up. Groggy, I answered to Uncle James's voice, practically roaring. Grace, how dare you agree to demolish the house? Your mom just died and you're tearing down her home? Where's the compensation money? Hand it over! I said nothing, hung up, deleted his number and blocked him. A gambler drowning in debt, only panicking now that the loan sharks were closing in, dreaming of my money. He was delusional. I switched my phone to airplane mode and slept until noon. When I woke, I had a dozen missed calls from unknown numbers. I ignored them. At 3 p.m. the phone rang again, this time the redevelopment office. Is this Grace? Your uncle's family is blocking our entrance, threatening to jump off the building. Wow, that's serious? Call the cops, I replied coolly. They're claiming the houses are under dispute. If we don't resolve this, they'll sue us for illegal demolition. Can you come clarify? Sure, I said. I've never seen anyone jump off a building before. At the office, I found James and his wife Susan blocking the entrance, yelling and shoving staff like they were ready to throw punches. I raised an eyebrow. Weren't you going to jump back on the ground so soon? James lunged at me like a wild animal. Grace, you ungrateful brat. Your mom raised you, and the second she's gone, you destroy her house without telling me? That's Kingston family property. You've got no right. His face was red with rage, but I stayed calm. Why not? It's my house. I decide. It's legal and fair. He charged, trying to grab me, but 3 staff members blocked him. He stumbled, nearly falling to his knees. I reached out, pretending to help. Uncle, don't do that. Kneeling to your niece during New Year's isn't a good look. Susan dove in, throwing herself to the ground with a theatrical roll, wailing dramatically. The two of them, one with fists, the other with crocodile tears, were a well-rehearsed team. Too bad their stamina and creativity weren't what they used to be. It was just the same old tantrum. I kindly reminded her, Aunt Susan, that's not your house. It's mine. Yours? That's Kingston family property. James sprang up, reaching for my collar. You little thief, thinking you're tough now, stealing my house. I'll teach you a lesson today. The staff blocked him, taking a few wild punches for me. I stayed cool. This is a government office. You'd better not start a fight. So what? I'll beat you right here. Call the cops if you dare. He roared. Right on cue, a stern voice cut through. "This is the police." "Who called us?" My heart did a little dance, perfect timing. James kept pointing at me, but I sidestepped, letting the officers take center stage. The cop's eyes narrowed. "Put your hand down." "What's with the pointing?" James froze, lowering his hand like a scolded kid. I slipped into character, my voice soft and aggrieved. "Officers, I called. They threatened to jump, lured me here, and then tried to attack me and the staff. Please handle this." My tone was 3 parts pitiful, 3 parts wrong, 3 parts fragile, with a hint of a sob. The staff around me looked impressed. "The police herded us into a meeting room." "Who threatened to jump?" "Who's fighting?" "Why?" "Explain." The staff recounted the scene. "Susan jumped up shrieking, 'I'm suing her, she's conspiring to steal my house. Officers, you have to help us." The cops signaled her to quiet down and turned to me. "Whose house is it?" I answered calmly, "Mine. Both houses are in my name. My mom passed and I'm the sole heir. I have the property deeds." The staff nodded. "We've verified everything. The paperwork's legit. The houses belong to her." "Lies. You say it's yours and that's it?" James bellowed, face purple. "Your mom promised those houses to me. She said so herself." The cop raised an eyebrow. "Verbal promises aren't evidence." "How do we know she said that?" "If you want to prove it, show us legal documents, deeds, a will, a video, anything. She's got the title and household registry." "What do you have?" James was speechless. I smirked, driving the point home. "He's got nothing. Mom spoiled him for years, funneling him money. He said he needed it for business, so she gave him my high school tuition, nearly forcing me to drop out. But he's useless, addicted to gambling, buried in debt. Mom knew if she gave him everything he'd lose it all, so she held on to the houses and money, never transferring anything to him. She passed suddenly, without a will or notarized documents. Legally, it's all mine." James exploded. "Back then we each had a house. One was ours, we paid for it with contracts and receipts. We wanted to swap houses, but both being mortgaged would have meant high interest, so we put it in your mom's name temporarily. It's still ours, she was just holding it." "Holding it? You're not embarrassed saying that?" I laughed coldly, pulling out some yellowed papers from my bag and holding them up for the police. "This is a loan agreement from years ago, signed by Uncle James. He borrowed $3 million from Mom for business, but it tanked. Then he borrowed more, using the house as collateral, so it was legally transferred to her. Here's his fingerprint, right? Back then that rundown house wasn't worth $100,000. But you borrowed $500,000 total, didn't you? Want the house back? Fine. Pay back every cent plus interest adjusted for inflation, then we'll talk." James gritted his teeth, eyes bulging. "It's been years, how do you still have those old papers?" "Old papers?" I shot him a look. "These aren't just papers, they're money, they're proof." Susan jumped in, shoving him. "What loan agreement? We don't acknowledge it. The fingerprint's blurry, who says it's not fake?" I smiled calmly, like I was teaching a child. "Auntie, you don't get it. If the fingerprint's unclear, they can analyze the handwriting. Forensic tech is advanced now. Invisible ink or faint prints don't mean experts can't verify them. Don't worry." Susan's face went white, her eyes glaring like she wanted to snatch and swallow the papers whole. I kept my smile, pressing further. "Uncle, you said you put the house in Mom's name to buy a new one. Where's that new house?" "I've never seen it." "You're still renting, right? Does this new house even exist?" You wouldn't be lying to the police, would you? That's a crime, you know. I'm just looking out for you. You sharp-tongued little. James roared, his voice shaking the room. Lying to the cops? What's my house got to do with you? His outburst startled the officers. I chuckled. The guiltier you are, the louder you yell. The cops exchanged looks, clearly seeing through him. Finally, one warned, if you've got evidence, take it to court. Keep disrupting public operations and we'll arrest you on the spot. That shut them up. James and Susan slunk away. The staff grabbed my hand, grateful. Thank you for supporting our work. If everyone were like you, our jobs would be a breeze. I shook their hands, smiling. Thanks for protecting me and backing me up with the police. They fumed. No need to thank us. You're in the right. Those relatives of yours are awful, bullying you right after your mom's passing. If they try this again, I'm calling the cops myself. Leaving the office, I thought good people always get their reward. On my way, I swung by the old house. The demolition crew worked fast. Signed yesterday, flattened today. From a distance, I saw a figure standing by the rubble. Emily Marshall. She'd flown back overnight. Her eyes scanned the broken concrete and twisted rebar. I knew what she was looking for. Victoria had a bank card she guarded like a treasure. Judging by Emily's anxious demeanor, there was serious money in it, $60 million to be exact. Her sudden return made me suspect the card was meant for her, and she knew the PIN. Too bad I'd found it during the estate settlement and transferred the funds to my account. I walked up, waving with a smile. Hey. Emily's face shifted, a flash of panic in her eyes. I grinned wider. Visiting my house's ruins? Didn't find what you were looking for? Her mood was sour. She glared and stormed off without a word. I strolled behind her. She left the site, I left the site. She reached the street, I reached the street. She got into her private car, I hailed a taxi. 30 minutes later, we met again at the Marshall's mansion gate. I waved cheerily. Hey! Emily's face was like she'd seen a ghost. Grace, are you insane? Why are you following me? This is my house, get out. I played dumb. What a coincidence. I think this might be my house too. Your house? What are you talking about? Get out! She grabbed my arm, trying to drag me out. It was laughable, her weak grip couldn't budge me. We tussled into the grand living room where the staff bowed respectfully to me. Their reaction told me the DNA results were in. Footsteps sounded from upstairs. Catherine Marshall descended, her voice steady. Emily burst into tears, running to her. Mom, she's crazy. She hit me. I told her not to come in, but she forced her way. I knew it, her mom's dead, so she's here to mooch off us. I looked at my birth mother. Emily, want to repeat that? Cursing people during New Year's, isn't that a bit much? Catherine's eyes twitched, full of resignation. I felt a pang of sympathy. Emily, I gave you a chance and you didn't take it. Catherine stood on the stairs, calm but firm. Emily, come upstairs. I need to talk to you. She glanced at me, nodding softly. Grace, wait here a moment, okay? Sure, I said, sitting obediently. Within minutes, a heated argument erupted upstairs. Catherine must have told Emily the truth. Emily stormed out, crying and screaming. I knew it. You never cared about me. Now you're done with me, right? Fine, choose between me and her. If she stays, I'm gone. She rushed to the living room, frantically packing her bags, knocking over bottles with a crash. As she headed for the door, she shot me a venomous look. Happy now, Grace? You drove me out of my own house. What's that got to do with me? I didn't say anything, you're the one jumping to conclusions, I replied. I suspected she'd known she wasn't Catherine's daughter for a while and had been scheming with Victoria for years, making a scene now to avoid exposure. Catherine, my birth mother, was soft-hearted. After years with Emily, she couldn't just cut ties. If Emily had been reasonable, the Marshalls would have kept her. But she chose the most extreme path. As I'd told her, "Emily, I gave you a chance and you didn't take it." Catherine came downstairs sighing. "I spoiled Emily. She's too stubborn, always lashing out." Her gaze softened on me. "My dear, you've suffered so much." I looked into what happened back then. "I heard Victoria wasn't kind to you." Her eyes flashed with anger at Victoria's name. Understandable, her real daughter was swapped and mistreated while someone else lived in luxury. What mother wouldn't be heartbroken? I comforted her softly. "It's not your fault, Mom. It's over now." Her eyes filled with love. "From now on, I'll make it up to you. Can you forgive me?" I nodded, whispering, "Mom, I'm just an ordinary person craving an ordinary family's love." Emily vanished after that. Then one morning the redevelopment office called. "Grace, someone's causing a scene accusing you of stealing property. Can you come by?" I lowered my voice. "Threatening to jump again?" They coughed awkwardly. "No jumping this time." "Then why call me?" "Nobody's in danger," I said, adding, "Look, you can't drag me here every time my uncle makes a fuss. You've checked my documents, I'm in the clear. If they keep this up, just arrest them." They paused, then said, "It's not your uncle this time." "Not him?" Now I'm curious. Who's shameless enough to top him? I arrived to find Emily slumped in front of the office, pale eyes red, looking pitiful as she shed crocodile tears. The staff wrung their hands. "She's been here 2 days, refusing to leave. We're stuck." I waved them off. "I don't want to trouble you. I'll handle it." I dialed the police. Soon a squad car pulled up and an officer's voice rang out. "This is the police." "Who called?" Before I could finish, Emily wailed, "Officers, you have to help me. She stole my house and kept all the compensation." The cop looked at me. "You again? Why do you keep stealing people's houses?" I protested again. "I'm innocent. Can you watch your words?" A staff member clarified, "It's the same 2 houses as before." The cop nodded. "All right, let's go to the meeting room and sort this out." I walked in confidently like I was filing taxes. 2 figures rushed forward. Emily pointed. "This is my uncle and aunt. They can testify." The officer glanced over. "Oh, we've met them before." Susan grabbed Emily's hand, full of righteous indignation. "Don't worry, honey. We won't let the snake take your mom's house." The 3 sat together, glaring at me. I nearly laughed. They'd hidden Emily's identity before, but now they were openly teaming up like they wanted everyone to know they were in cahoots. "Fine, I'll play along." James struck first, pointing at Emily. "She's my sister's real daughter. Her house belongs to her." The cop turned to me. "You aware of this?" I shook my head, all innocence. "Nope. Growing up, Mom only had me." Susan scoffed. "What do you know? You're just some stray Victoria picked up off the street." "Order!" the officer snapped. "No insults. That's against the law." The cop faced Emily. "You claim you're Victoria's daughter. Got proof?" "We know she passed away recently." "I'm the proof." James stood smugly, glancing at me. "Think only rich folks can afford DNA tests? You think we're dumb because we're poor?" He slapped a DNA report on the table. "This proves I'm related to my niece." She's my sister's real daughter and has inheritance rights. I couldn't hold back a laugh. That's weird. If she's related to you, isn't she your daughter? She should inherit your stuff, not mine. Before James could respond, Susan leapt up cursing. What nonsense! We're alive and well, nobody's inheriting anything. And we don't have kids. Quiet! The officer slammed the table. I said no insults or you're all going to the station. Then test me with her. James jabbed a finger at me. She's not a Kingston. We're not related. She's some kid my sister took and she's got no claim. The cop shook his head, exasperated. Do you understand the law? He explained firmly. Listen, whether you're related to Grace doesn't matter. She and Victoria were legally mother and daughter, her names in the household registry. Biological or adopted from the sky or a rock, if the paperwork's valid, the law recognizes her inheritance rights. Got it? James froze, face stiff. I bet he only caught the last sentence. What about my real niece? She gets nothing? The cop was blunt. Legally, it's not even clear she's your niece. Not a cent? Susan panicked, grabbing James. What do we do? The loan sharks are coming next week. No money and we're done for. I told you to quit gambling, now look. They beat you last time, you forgot. Next they'll come for me. James's face turned purple, veins popping as he shoved her. Shut up, don't embarrass us. They started brawling right there in front of the cops. I watched, thoroughly entertained. This time the police didn't just warn them, they restrained both and announced they'd be taken to the station for a lesson, including one on the dangers of gambling. As I left the office, Emily chased after me. Grace, you think I can't touch you? I shrugged, innocent as ever. Can you? She glared, voice righteous. Victoria switched us, that's her fault. But what parent doesn't want their kid to have a better life? Should the poor stay poor forever? She's gone now. She wasn't great to you, but she raised you. The dead deserve respect. Are you out to destroy her whole family? I rubbed my ears like I'd heard static. Revenge? You're the ones hounding me. Emily bit her lip, resolute. Let's cut to it. Victoria's estate isn't just 2 houses, is it? Oh, now we're getting somewhere, I said, smirking. She laid out her demand. I want half of everything, $60 million and 50% of the demolition compensation. I feigned confusion. $60 million? News to me. She stared, cold. Playing dumb? Just wait. A week later I got a court summons. Emily was suing me for illegally seizing assets. Catherine, my birth mom, was furious and ready to hire a top-tier legal team. I waved her off. No need, Mom. I've got this. No need for a sledgehammer to crack a walnut. At the trial I went solo. Emily presented a stack of digital receipts and transaction records showing she'd sent Victoria $27 million over the years, all documented. The judge asked, you entrusted such a large sum to Victoria. What was your relationship? Her lawyer jumped in. My client is Victoria's biological daughter. Though we can't confirm it due to Victoria's sudden death, we have evidence this money belongs to my client. They argued I exploited Victoria's death to transfer the funds to myself, accusing me of theft. The judge reviewed the evidence and asked me, do you acknowledge these transactions? I nodded calmly. I didn't know where the money came from before, but if they've got proof, I accept it. Emily smirked, smug. From the gallery I heard a muffled curse. I glanced back, James and Susan looking rough. James's eyes were bruised, face swollen. Susan's eyes were puffy, hair streaked with gray. The loan sharks had clearly been brutal. James's cursing was probably aimed at Emily for not bailing them out. She glanced at them indifferent. Family on the surface, but she didn't care if they sank. Emily secured the $27 million easily. Her lawyers pressed for the remaining $60 million. I cut and you say it's yours, where's the proof? I have a video, her lawyer said, playing a prepared clip. In it, Victoria held Emily's hand, warmly clutching a bank card, saying she wanted Emily to have all the money in it. No mention of a mother-daughter bond, though. I objected. The video shows a card, but who knows which one or how much is in it. Emily stood confident. The video's time-stamped. And I know the PIN, Grace doesn't. Her lawyer adjusted his glasses. We can verify this with the bank. Check the balance, transactions, and PIN details. If my client is the only one who knows the PIN, it's clear. The judge asked me, do you know the PIN? I shook my head. No. He asked Emily how much was in the account. Her lawyer answered firmly, $60 million total. $27 million was my client's, and the remaining $33 million per Victoria's wishes should go to her. Emily beamed. The gallery erupted in curses. If we weren't in court, James might have tackled her. $60 million, and she wasn't sharing a dime with them, not even letting them join her lawsuit. Perfect family facade. The judge ruled the defendant has no objection to the plaintiff's claim to the assets. Per the law, you must return the full amount to Emily after this trial. Anything else to say? I sat up, dropping the passive act. Yes. Time to strike. I'd played along long enough to get what I needed. I locked eyes with Emily, asking slowly, your video has a clear timestamp. So at that point, you, the Marshall heiress, had reconnected with Victoria as mother and daughter, right? She hesitated, then nodded. Yes. Why else would I send her that much money? I smiled, pressing harder. So why transfer that much? It's not pocket change. Was it a safety net in case the Marshalls kicked you out? Or for Victoria's retirement? Or did you already know you'd turn on the Marshalls one day? Her lawyer shot up. Objection. This is irrelevant to the case. The defendant is leading my client. The judge considered, then shook his head. Objection overruled. Continue. I pushed further. All assets need a clear source. I'm curious, how does a college student like you get $27 million to give Victoria? The judge looked at Emily, waiting. She stammered, what's it to you? My family's rich, my parents gave it to me. Got a problem with that? I smirked. Your family, meaning the Marshalls, right? But I checked their financial records, they never gave you that kind of money. Emily faltered, speechless. I filled in the blanks. During an audit of the Marshall estate, we found missing jewelry, gold antiques, and rare paintings. Security footage shows you taking some items. Others you claimed to borrow for replicas but never returned them. Emily raised her voice, defiant. It's my house. I can take what I want. I raised an eyebrow. But at that time you already knew you weren't Catherine's real daughter. So your actions were. Her lawyer blurted, deliberate misappropriation of assets. Shut up. Emily screamed, her face contorted with rage. Her lawyer cringed, realizing his mistake. I turned to the judge, asking casually, Your Honor, if the plaintiff faces charges for this, what's the penalty? The judge sighed, looking at Emily. A child secretly transferring family assets is theft. With assets of this scale, it constitutes grand larceny. Emily's face went ashen. She'd handed me the evidence on a platter. I smiled lightly. This isn't over yet. Just then the courtroom door swung open. 2 officers marched in, heading for James and Susan with a summons. You're coming with us. You're accused of involvement in multiple human trafficking cases from 20 years ago. James gaped, shouting, I'm innocent. The cops didn't blink. Innocent or not, we'll find out at the station. They cuffed them and led them out. The room grew tense. Emily stared at me, her eyes a mix of panic, fear, and hatred. I cleared my throat, unfazed. Don't look at me like that. The other $33 million of Victoria's, don't you know where it came from? A regular working woman, not rich, not a tech genius. How does she amass $33 million? Unless she won the lottery, robbed a bank, or went down a dark path. I'll never forget the day fresh into middle school when I overheard Victoria drunk bragging to James she'd driven across 3 states in one night, selling a kidnapped girl to a remote mountain village for $50,000, worth $400,000 today. Her slurred words, flushed face, and smug eyes proud of her achievement burned into my memory. I ran to the police station to report it, but I was just a kid lacking details. The cops took me home to verify. Victoria denied everything, accusing me of stealing money and slandering her. They called it a family dispute, gave some advice, and left. That night she broke 2 of my ribs. Victoria wasn't just trafficking, she dragged James into it. Bold as she was, when she saw a chance to swap babies in the hospital, she didn't hesitate. The courtroom gallery buzzed. No one expected delicate Emily to be the daughter of a trafficker. She screamed, voice raw, so what if I was switched? That's my fault? I'm a victim too. I cut her off. Don't twist things. You're no victim. Victoria didn't just swap babies, she kidnapped and trafficked. If it was an accident, maybe you'd be a victim, but it wasn't. You're not innocent. You profited from her crimes, living in luxury while the marshal's real daughter suffered. When you learned the truth, you didn't make amends, you teamed up with Victoria to steal and hide Marshall assets. Innocent? No, you're breaking the law, doing wrong. Emily's lips trembled, her face pale, her body swaying. Suddenly she clutched her chest, face twisted in pain, and collapsed onto the plaintiff's bench. Chaos erupted. Paramedics were called and Emily was rushed to the hospital. Later, the trial video leaked online. A 20-year-old missing person case found a lead, but the main suspect was dead. Victims' families demanded justice. Public outrage exploded, pinning the Kingston family, including Emily, to a pillar of shame. I touched my second rib from the bottom. For years it ached in the rain, a deep bone-crushing pain. Today it was silent. Later I heard from the hospital Emily had a genetic condition, the reason Victoria swapped her with me. Treating it would cost a fortune just to extend her life. $30 million? A lot, but not enough to save her, only to delay the inevitable. As for Victoria, her death was a fluke. Doctors said her congenital heart defect made her survival to that age a miracle. In the ICU, I saw her briefly wake. The doctors called it a final lucid moment, her time countable on one hand. I held the oxygen tube, gripping it lightly but not pulling, and said softly, tomorrow I'm meeting my real mom and visiting your real daughter. What do you think? Her heart rate spiked, her breathing ragged. She glared at me, body convulsing like a fish out of water. The monitor's beeps raced, the line on the screen spiking wildly before flatlining. It was over. Life is an ocean, time is sand, burying countless truths. But some wield a sword, cutting through thorns to embrace the truth. Leaving the courthouse, sunlight tore through the clouds, a golden ray breaking free. There stood Catherine, smiling, waving. Come on, let's go home. I took her hand.